Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Ian's YouTube channel. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Ian's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing something really fun. Well, to you lot it might be fun. Right, on instances there are times when we have to cross a body of water and it's important to understand how to do it. I'm having to shout a bit because basically the sound of the weir over here is going to drown me out a little bit. I hope drowning's not going to be the word of the day today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go further down underneath the bridge and I'm going to show people how to cross shallowish water, shallowish moving water. And then we're going to look at how to go across deeper water, and then we're going to look at how to go across open water where your feet don't touch the ground. Now, it's the end of March and the water's not warm. So that's something for me to look forward to. Right then, what am I wearing? Just normal clothes that I would wear if I was going walking somewhere. That's simple. If you are a hiker, you can imagine that you're wearing hiking clothes and a normal standard rucksack. This is my Bergen that I use, what I call my adventure Bergen. So it's got everything in there that I need. So I'm going to be using items from inside the adventure Bergen to get me across open water in a while. Now, if you're going to be crossing a mass of water, even if it's only fairly shallow, always remember to unclip your belt. And if you sometimes you've got one here that goes across your sternum, a sternum belt, undo that as well. So if you fall in the water and you can't make any headway because of the force of the water, you just let your Bergen go. And a lot of people say, well, what about all my gear? Well, I'd rather lose my gear than lose my life, and it's as simple as that, really. Another issue is, do you wear shoes when you cross water, or do you go barefoot or wear socks? I will always wear my boots, and if that means that I'm going to get my feet a little bit wet and my boots wet and probably get some blisters and such like and have to dry my boots out, I don't care. I'd rather do that than end up with lacerations or standing on glass or standing on sharp rocks or slate or anything like that, which is going to cause damage to my feet. Because to me, my feet are very, very important, so my boots stay on. Alright guys? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work down there, and we're going to show you how to, first of all, get across fairly shallow water. And this can vary. If you're out on the moors, you're going to get different kinds of rock, but generally it's covered in like a greeny algae moss, so you've got to be careful how you stand on it so you don't slip down, and wearing boots is always going to help. So off we go. Okay, so one of the first things that I need to do is get myself a stake, a staff. Alright, so that's going to basically support me. So as my legs are now, that would be difficult if water's hitting me to be able to support myself without falling backwards. Now you can, especially with a Bergen on. Now if you turn sideways, you can work it like that by getting your staff in there and working your way across like that. But the problem with that is triangles are stronger. So by having the staff in front, you can support yourself like that, and you bring your weight of the Bergen over so that it holds you down into the water. I'm hoping you can hear me now. So I'm going to walk across this piece of water just here. Jamming in, moving, jamming in, moving, jamming in, moving. Now feel it all the way to the bottom. Making sure that the legs We're going to go across again now, guys, on this area. Now this is even more slick. So if you look up there, it's not too bad, but if you look down here, it's a lot worse. So it's going to work its way slightly down here. And again, we're going to have that. In front. He'll work his way slowly out. Making sure I don't overpace myself as I go across. Well, I'm really feeling that pressure on my legs now. You can't keep looking at the water. If you look at the water, it can start to make you feel sick, disorientated and dizzy. There's a lot of pressure on my legs right now. And that's just coming up to the top of your legs. So the speed of this water, I wouldn't want to be going any deeper than this. Because the pressure and the speed will just wash me away. Okay. So there's no way that I would attempt to be crossing this, because as you see, this here is a wide area and shallow water. So the water's coming round there, alright? But at this side, it's a lot deeper. The main part of the water is coming down that channel. So there's no way that I will be able to go down there in this situation. And then it widens out, and then it's down again. Something else we need to look at is what we call strainers. If you look over there, you'll see trees. All right, so to walk over. Okay, there's trees over there, and where the roots come out of the bottom, where erosion's taken place. You see the river's going down onto that corner where the erosion is. It takes the soil away and leaves the roots, and they're called strainers. They will strain everything out, and if you went down here and followed the line of the water, you could get taken into that and drowned, and trapped up and drowned. Also around the corner as it goes round, same thing. And this occurs with a lot of these soft banked rivers. You tend to get all these strainers, all these root systems overhanging into the river. Something we need to point out and all while we're here is if you're going on an open piece of water, which is like a flat lake here or a big pond, and you've got to cross it, always look out for weed, because in order to be able to swim over weed, you've got to be perfectly flat. My advice is simply don't do it, because if you get your legs snarled in it, it will take you down, it'll probably drown you. So it's best not to do it. Something like this, I'm looking here at eddies, stoppers, eddy lines. If you see, let me see one. Right, you can, we've got one. You see there, the water's coming down there, and the flow of water. Now this piece of water here is coming down and reversing on itself and causing that calm bit over there. Now, so you've got slow moving water and fast moving water. If you were to stick your leg out into the fast moving water, it will pull you around and spin you and pull you in. So this here will be a sort of big eddy, and the stopper is as it goes over the top and drops into the barrel of the water. Always look down, I've already done this, but always look downriver. I've been all the way down and checked what's happening down there, because if I was to get washed down, I need to know what I'm up against. If possible, always use a bridge. There's a big bridge up there, so I could just walk over that, but we're doing this video, so I would be looking at this area here. The best place for me to cross this section would be to here, but I can't go any further. So it's better for me to go up and have a look upriver and see what we've got up there before we move on. So we're just going to go back across here. I'm showing you the whole thing so that you get a better insight into crossing rivers. Also look out for dead animals. Sometimes they get washed up into these little eddies and onto the sides of rivers. You don't want to be putting your feet and your hands in them. Also there's Veals disease. The signs of Veals disease are coming down with like a flu, as if you've got flu. So now we're going to head back across. It's great that I could take you on this little adventure like this, just to give some advice on how to cross the river. Very important you don't just look at the water, because it will give you a feeling of seasickness and it'll make you feel unbalanced. Right guys, what I do is I look at the line of the water up there, feel with my stick and feel with my feet. So I'm feeling now with my feet as I move back into the deeper water. Alright. Feeling myself, don't turn side on. And if you tried doing this facing downriver, because of your knees, it would literally buckle your knees and take you over. Now there's a lot of pressure on my legs right now from the current as we get into the middle, because you'll see that it V's in and the pressure is all down here. Make sure you don't get an entrapment with your foot, because last thing you need is having your foot stuck between two rocks while you're out here. If you feel unsure or unsafe at any point during doing this, back off, find another route. I always think if you've got swift moving water like this, you're actually better off swimming across at a deeper, slower moving area than attempting to do this if you're only slight, or if you don't have much body weight. And obviously the Bergen is also helping me right now. The weight of the Bergen is assisting me to keep down and keep traction on the floor. And I don't stop doing like this till I get right to the other side. Alright guys, now if I was round that corner up there, I might think this was a nice placid river had it not been for the sound of the weir next to me. Now, if you were to fall in up there, you don't know what's happening underneath the water. There could be a strong current. If this river's quite wide but V's down and goes deep underneath, there's going to be undercurrents which are going to be going faster than the surface water. So the surface water appears to be quite placid, but underwater it's going to be quite swift. So if you fall in and you hit that underwater, the undercurrent is going to pull you down. So be aware of that. And all these trees down here are going to have that root system which is actually coming out. And on this wall here, I don't know if you can see, but some roots sticking out there. Alright, now when we come down to here, as soon as you get to this area here, the river, even if you're just on top, the water's going to get you and the current is going to start pulling you down here, and then you get this. Now if you were to go down here, because I've actually been down this a couple of times, I've been in my kayak but also swam down this area here. Now this is the white stuff, it's called white water, but it's difficult to stay afloat in this because it's full of air. So it's less buoyant, you're liable to go down in that. Now as this comes over, it goes down and it will circulate underneath. So sometimes, not in this case so much because it's too swift, but sometimes if it's a deep hollow just there, you get what's called a stopper. And that's when the water circulates down and then comes back up on itself, circulating like that. So you go into it and you can't get out in it, and the only way you can get out is to go either side. Alright? So if I was to go down there, if I had no option, I would go down the deeper area over there. But I happen to know there's a lot of these large rocks underneath that area down there. Alright? So you're liable to get injured on those. So what you need to do is keep your buoyancy, if you've got any buoyancy like a rucksack or something, above, in front of you, hold on to it and go down feet first. Alright, till you come out the other side and you'll see the water circulate out. So you get down there and then swim to the side on that circulated area. Don't think about trying to control yourself on here, just let yourself go with the flow and come out on the circulation. Alright, on each side. Okay, so I'm looking over here now and I can't see anywhere on the out there apart from that bank there which I'm going to head for, which I can actually, so if I've got to go across here, so you've got to ask yourself, why do you need to get across? Okay, so what I've got to do now is I've got to get from here over there, alright, in a safe manner. And a lot of people know from my previous videos that I carry a large dry sack on the top of my Bergen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my dry sack out, put my Bergen inside it, and then tie it off on the top, and I'm going to swim out over to there in the rain. Not that it matters about rain at this point. And I'm basically going to climb out the other side and then I'm going to make my way back. But I've got to be pretty quicky so I don't get caught in the current and taken down the weir. Alright guys? Okay, we're going in now. Basically my rucksack has now become my buoyancy aid. I'm going to work my way out. You've got to get used to the shock of the cold water as well. I mean, I've done this as a job for many years, so it don't really bother me. So here we are. It takes your breath a bit. So I'm just swimming to the other side, being very careful of what's happening around me, making sure I don't swim into weed or anything else. And I'm swimming slightly upriver to where I want to go, so the current will be counteracted. A lot of people aren't going to like the cold water. Get used to it. Control your breathing. Now I'm feeling that current picking up because I'm on the outside of the bend. So as I'm coming to the other side now, I'm feeling for branches and sticks and anything I can get snarled on. Okay, so now we're at the other side. I will literally bring in the bag and walk up this bank. But I gotta make my way back to the other side. So we get to do it all over again. Cracking! So again, I'm feeling the floor, and I'll be swimming slightly upriver to the other side, being careful of all the roots and such like. Can I point out, don't do this on your own if you're not a very proficient swimmer. And that's because it's very, very easy to get into dangerous situations. And in fact, don't do it on your own. I've been a lifeguard, beach and pool lifeguard, so I know exactly what I'm doing, but even I could get myself into trouble. So I'm very, very careful. So I'm swimming across here, knowing I'll be heading down there. But I can feel that current letting off now. So I'm only swimming with my legs. And if I hold you in that hand, let's get you down here, I can use the arm as well. You see? It's always awkward when you can't see the bottom, and that unnerves a lot of people. So I'm away from that weir, well away from it. Also, be careful of fishing line. I've got a knife in my pocket. If I get stuck in fishing wire, I can pull that out and cut myself free. As now, I'm fine. Very exhilarating, very enjoyable. Well, I enjoy it anyway, but I'm a bit weird. And all my stuff is in my Bergen, totally watertight and fastened in case I know I can stand up. Again, I've still been careful. Bring myself in. And when you get to the side, make sure you pick your Bergen up and don't let it drag in, because it can get bust. Now I want to point out that before I swam across with one arm because I had the camera in the other. you'll see now, all I've done, I've put my Bergen inside the bag, strung it over my arm, I've got all my arms and legs available. So the bag never touches the floor. It stays on my back all the time so it can't drag and damage the liner. Alright? And while I'm swimming, it's basically just hanging behind me and I can swim as normal. Okay guys? And then then all I do is I get all my wet clothing off, put it inside the outside dry sack, roll it all off, shake it, and then put it in the top of my Bergen. Job on. I'm now going to get dried and dressed. Okay, so I've got all my clothes, all my nice dry clothes. I'm still wearing wet boots, but it don't matter to me. What I do now, get this. Put that down, crack that open, all my wet clothes are now going inside this bag. That's it up. On top of the Bergen. Fasten it up and back on my way. Right guys, I hope this video has been of use to some of you. Basically, how to cross fairly shallow water and rocks and such like, utilising the pole. But when it gets a bit deeper, how to swim swim out across open water and massive water and get out to the other side utilising a dry sack. You can also use a basher sheet by spreading it out, putting your gear inside your bergen or your rucksack, pulling it all back in, tying it all up, strapping it up and creating a dry sack using your basher sheet. But you've got to make sure you do it right, otherwise you'll get water in. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please take note of everything I've mentioned. That way you don't get washed down river. Hopefully you're not going to drown and not use your gear. Now, if you're walking down the side of a river, normally, just generally, when you've got your straps done up, I always advise, if you're walking on a path by a river, to just drop your straps open. Because all it takes is for you to trip and fall in, and then you're in a whole world of trouble underwater with all your straps on. I'm going to be doing a video of that eventually, showing what to do if you fall in a river. But for now, we've had loads of fun out here in the river. Now I'm going to get back and get out at rain. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Ian Lawrence and this is Ian's YouTube channel. And it's a chance for you to come along on my adventures so we can all learn things together, because I never make out that I know everything and I'm always learning something. Sometimes we can be underground in caves and potholes, sometimes we can be gourds scrambling, crawling through water, sometimes we're out bushcrafting, making things, making fires, playing with bow drills, creating things, making spoons and all sorts of stuff. And other times we could be making shelters and trying to find things we can use for cordage. Loads and loads for us all to learn together, because I never make out that I know everything. And if I do something wrong, I stick it on the channel so we can all learn by my mistakes. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Please remember to like, share the videos and also to subscribe. And if you want all the updates, make sure to push the little bell down there. I think it's down there. There's a bell down there. Hit the bell once you're subscribed, and every time I come out with some fresh insanity, you'll get a little ding dong on your phone or your computer or whatever it is to let you know that I've just inserted something into Ian's YouTube channel. Thank you very much for stopping by. Bye for now.